Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to teach you little kiting tips and also things I do when I'm hunter. Keep in mind the highest tier I've ever reached with hunter was saber-tooth tiger, and yeah, but I got my saber-tooth tiger badge in like 2 weeks. So I'll be probably teaching you the many things that I know about hunter and the many things I know about kiting. So I hope you enjoy that. In the video that I'm recording for you right now, you'll see a lot of mistakes done. So here's how I categorize all the hunters that exist in the game currently. The hunter that is anti-Cypher Rush is solely just Joseph. Joseph, or Photographer, is the only hunter that can prevent Cypher Rush. So if you have an issue with Cypher Rush, my advice is to just use him. I use Joseph when there's double rescues because double rescues are they're not good. They're not good. They're not good against Cypher Rush, so they're not great to Cypher Rush with. So that's why I'm playing Joseph, to really just delay the ciphers from being primed. Yeah, so we have the anti-Cypher Rushed king called Joseph. And then we have the double hit hunters, which are like Feaster, what's the other one? Bloody Queen, Violinist, Axe Boy. Those hunters that have an ability to just rush with hits. If you have terrible time with just getting hits, I would recommend playing one of these hunters, just so you learn how to hit people quicker. That sounds really bad. Hit people quicker. So yeah. The next hunter I would like to say is the high presence hunters, which are essentially like Bloody Queen, Wu Chang, and Dream Witch. Now, those hunters are really difficult in my opinion, except for Bloody Queen. Bloody Queen's fairly easy to learn. But Wu Chang and Dream Witch are really difficult to use, but they're really good in higher levels, except for Dream Witch. I mean, not Dream Witch, Bloody Queen. Bloody Queen is not good for higher tier rank. Good luck, Bloody Queen mains. But yeah, so hunters like Dream Witch and Wu Chang have high presence, and it's easier to pretty much avoid, Cypher Rush if you know how to use their presence well. Let's see. We covered, I don't know if we covered double hit. So we definitely did. So it's just Axe Boy and Feaster and all those characters. The next hunter is half hits. So half hits are like Bonbon, Sculptor, and Gravekeeper. Gatekeeper. I always confuse the two. So Gatekeeper, the thing about him is that you really just have to... I like to kite in tighter areas because kiting in tighter areas against Gatekeeper just is very helpful, because it makes sure it ensures that I don't get grabbed by the hook easily. It might make you slower if he slams the wall next to you or a pallet next to you. It's fine. It is what it is. You can't counter that unless you just run away. With Bonbon and Sculptor, I really can't tell you how to kite Bonbon because it depends on the Bonbon main. For me, I often just kite in smaller areas. I don't like kiting in open areas with Bonbon because I just feel like those bombs get me quicker. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It really just depends on the Bonbon main. If they're really just like spamming the bombs, then you might not want to kite in if they're spamming the bombs, you might not want to kite in a closed area. If they are spamming the bombs, then you might want to kite in an open area. If they're just throwing the bombs, you might want to kite in a confiner space because you have the leeway of running. Let's see. The next thing I want to say is, okay, so here's my hunter tips if you're like a new person into playing hunter. If you're like a newbie in playing hunter, okay. I got my saber-tooth tiger tier in like 2 weeks. Okay, I did that. You can do that too. I don't like to camp in Cobra or Spider because it's not necessary. Most people who are learning the game want to kite, want to rescue. It's that kind of adrenaline rush that I feel like most survivors get when they do that. You see how this wildling did that and I didn't even get like stunned? That's exactly what I'm saying. They should not be doing that. They should not be doing that. So a lot of the times elks and mammoths really just forget to decode because they want to save or they want to kite. And they often do like a 30-second kite. It's okay. Everybody's been there, so I'm not going to be so nitpicky about that. But I will say, just be open to your surroundings if you're kiting, because as you saw with Coordinator, and you're going to see with many other people, is that they don't really pay attention to where the hunter is. And paying attention to the hunter is very important, because if you don't look at where the hunter is going, you are not going to win. You are not going to kite for 60 seconds. I'm sorry, you're not. And Gardner is going to do that exactly. So she'll just she'll run. She should have ran to her left right now, but she didn't. So she'll just run. She'll get hit. She'll run to the middle area where the cipher is, and she'll throw down her pallet rather than checking where I'm at, thinking I'm going to follow her exactly. I'm not going to do that as a hunter, and I'm pretty sure a lot of hunters are not going to do that. So you really have to pay attention to where your location is and where the hunter's location is. Let's see. The next thing I want to tell you guys is that depending on your tier, you should really consider what characters you want to play. Do not play mechanic or like another survivor that I'm probably not thinking of at the current moment. Do not play mechanic as your first decoder main. I've mained explorer, prisoner. I've gotten A badges for all of them, so it is what it is. My recommendation is that you play with like mechanic or explore as your first decoder main, so you learn how to kite. It's just that raw thing where it's difficult to kite with them, and you'll be exposed to kiting better with characters like prisoner and mechanic that have like kiting debuffs essentially. Most people want to say that what's it called, prisoner's debuff with the not being able to sense the hunter is not like a real kiting debuff, but it really is, because if you can see the hunter upon the horizon or your heartbeat radius going dun 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 dun, and the hunter's like 30 meters away, it really just does help you win it, or kite faster or get away quicker. It really does, in my opinion. So yeah, let's see, the next thing I want to think about. Okay, so depending on your tier, like I've said, you don't want to play like your favorite YouTuber. I don't know why I see a lot of people just watch their favorite YouTuber and then they're like, my favorite YouTuber does this and they say you should do that. Priming the cipher in Worker Bee or even Hound is kind of useless, because most people don't carry not broken windows. Most people don't carry borrowed time, and borrowed time is kind of weird. I was playing on my other account that is like a moth and a spider, so I'm really rarely on it. I was playing on that account, and the whole mechanics of how that game worked and how I normally play with Elizacult, they probably thought I was a noob. They really probably thought I was a noob. But trust me, it's just the way I play is so different from so different. Like, so different from Worker Bee, it's crazy. So yeah. It's just crazy. So my tips on Hunter is essentially, I'm pretty sure I've repeated myself, but just play Hunter that make it difficult for certain characters, certain levels. Like, I ranked up from Cobra to Saber-Tooth Tiger using Geisha. I played probably like 10 matches with Geisha, and I was already in Alligator 3 at the point. So playing not 10 matches, right? No, 50 matches, probably, right? I don't know. I know I didn't play that much. Like, I spent one whole rank session and I was already in another tier. So, yeah. Let's see. You see, double hit hunter. You should not do that. You should not just stay there, too, with double hit hunters. They will just kill you quicker. I don't like to camp because most of the ciphers that are being primed, people don't know they're primed. You should really spam your cipher machine progress. I do that. I'm probably annoying as hell. My teammates probably think I'm toxic. Probably think I'm annoying. Probably think, hey, it's okay. We know you're decoding. But the main reason why I do that is because just in case I do like a weak kite and let's say there's like 5 ciphers still up, I want them to know my cipher machine is primed so they can pop it themselves. That is very important. Do not underestimate the power of communication. Someone will listen. Maybe not everybody, but someone will. So just communicate to your teammates. I always spam everything I want to say. Focus on decoding. If someone goes down early, don't rescue me. Another thing I tend to spam is cipher machine prime. I spam so much that I probably get annoying, and that's okay. That's okay. As long as I get a draw or I win, it will be fine. Another thing I tend to notice is that people who are in Elk or Mammoth tend to stay at the exit gate. Just leave. Do not stay. If you are at the exit gate, 2 people, 1 person, leave. I often leave because just in case someone found the dungeon, they know the dungeon. Also, one thing I said about communication, it's very important that you tell people if you see the dungeon's here. Because there are people who know where the dungeon is and they do not say it. And it amazes me that there are still players, even in Alicorn, that will know where the dungeon is and they will not tell people the dungeon's here. Tell people where the dungeon is. If they forget, if they remember, it's fine. They will know, at least. 1 person will know the dungeon might be over here. Also, you should also communicate where the basement is. If you found where the basement is, tell them the basement's here, just so they know not to kite over to the basement. It pretty much gets painful to kite near the basement, so I understand that because, look at me. I know it's painful. Yeah, I think that's one of the things I wanted to state. That's one of the issues that I constantly see. So again, with my tips, I often choose hunters that I can mindlessly not think about. Like with violinists, you saw many mistakes, like running into the pallet, going to the portal instead of going to the other portal because, they used her portal twice, but I didn't know that because, I would think that you do not spam your portal like that. So the reason why I choose hunters that I know are difficult is because I want to win. I'm not gonna play Dream Witch in Mammoth or Elk. There is reasons, because number 1, it's very difficult to play those kinds of hunters, and number 2, it's not gonna ensure my quickest rate of success. I will use hunters like Geisha because most people can't kite Geisha, and then I'll use hunters like Violinist because most people can't kite Violinist, especially during Mammoth. Another thing that I've noticed is that people can't kite Bloody Queens in Mammoth, so just have that information if you want to have it. I know one of the most difficult hunters for me to kite was, at a point, Geisha. I learned the hardest way of repeatedly dying and not winning against Geisha. It's pretty much weird for me to say that now because I can kite Geisha decently, I would say. But oh my god, she was a struggle. I used to think that she needed a nerf, but she definitely needs a buff. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're playing. Also, you cannot be playing geisha against mammoth. Mammoths are already learning how to kite her, and it might be difficult to do that. I don't believe in kiting. I mean kiting. I don't believe in camping. Camping is kind of dumb and pointless in my opinion. I like to just ruin people's lives and make them scared. I like to pretty much ruin people who have a prime cipher and make them lose. You see, nobody went to that prime cipher and nobody knows that prime cipher exists because I did not camp. Because I did not camp. So that actually bought more time for me. People might say, oh, camping is so amazing. Yeah, when people carry Tide, it's not so amazing because Tide Turner actually lasts for 20 seconds, which is why I still believe hunters are OP. But yeah, I mean, hunters are not OP. Survivors are OP. I'm crazy. Don't listen to me. But please do. I believe that survivors are very OP because you can cipher rush even with certain characters like double rescues, but for me I just, you know, play certain characters because I'm difficult. Yeah, that's how I pretty much that's how I pretty much won, and that's how I pretty much got up to the saber-tooth tiger tier. That's essentially how I went up to mammoth. Yeah. Without getting demoted. Demoted is like a nightmare. I've had so many times where I am like, let's say I'm mammoth 3, right? And then I get back to mammoth 5. So thank God I'm not in mammoth because mammoth is like so many toxic players. I'm not even joking. Thank God I'm in the unicorn tier, which yes, I made it. I don't need to deal with toxic people anymore to that level. But yeah, that's my tips. It probably sounds like common sense to me, but I've had people ask, well, where is the dungeon? How do I get the dungeon? If you want to memorize the spawn points of the dungeon, you can go on custom and there'll be what's the thing called? In the dungeon, there'll be like in custom, they'll have like a little map and you can choose the spawn points of each survivors. They'll tell you the spawn point of the dungeon as well. Study that if you forget where the dungeon is. That's my advice. I think that's it for the game. I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about. So let's see if I can think about anything else. I'm probably gonna repeat myself. Oh, yeah, tips. I often use certain characters that will help me. I use a lot of decoders because nobody plays decoder. And I'm just going to tell you this. If you're like a lawyer main or an explorer main or a mechanic main or a mind's eye main, people will always take you for granted as that main. People will say, why did you do a 5-second kite? As if you have like any kiting buffs. Like, I'm not saying it, but most survivors that are decoders do not have like a kiting buff. Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. I know Prisoner has the electroshock, but that is not really like a huge stun. That is a 1-second stun that is not even that great of a stun. So I don't know why people are like, use your stuns, use your electroshock. It's so good, it's so overpowered. Oh, you're like a kiting pro. You're like pretty much Enchantress with the electroshock. And I'm like, girl, I'm not telling you how I feel. I am not telling you how I feel about that statement because I will be salty. It's really just annoying to hear people say that, you know, Prisoner is the same as, what's it called? As Enchantress. People think because he has a stun, he can really just rescue. He's not a good rescue. And if you are going to rescue with, what's it called? Prisoner, body blocking is not that overpowered. Like, body blocking is the only way you're going to save. And his stun is not that overpowered. I don't know why so many people think that because I have the stun, that it just essentially means I'm really good at the game. Like, I can, like, rescue. Like, I have so many abilities. I can kite quicker. That's not really... His electroshock, in my opinion, should be used right after when someone gets you down and you're gonna save, or not even save, like someone saves you from kiting and you want to use the electroshock because he's still near you. That's how I use the electroshock. That's the only way I'll use the electroshock, is when someone saves me and I have Tide Turner and I want to go. So yeah, I don't camp because I know people are gonna have Tide Turner. I'm not gonna camp with Tide Turner. That is just a whole disaster. I hate when hunters complain about Cypher Rush and they're literally face camping the whole game, as if the survivor isn't telling them, don't rescue me, don't rescue me. If a survivor goes down in 5 seconds, take that time to take another survivor, because most survivors are not going to rescue that survivor. I tell people don't rescue me because I do a 5-second kite. A lot of people get salty because I do a 5-second kite. I'm not going to be saved anytime soon. You should take that time to teleport, rush over to another survivor, and just take them out. Take them out. Take them out. I think those are my just tips in general. I notice a lot of people just do that, and it really is just cringe. It really is cringe to see people you know, do big mistakes that shouldn't even be made. Let's see. This lawyer got down because he didn't pay attention to where I was at, and he has what's it called? He has his map, so he should have just known where I was going. Yeah, be very knowledgeable about where, you know, the hunter's at. I can't really give you specific tips on certain characters because this video is not essentially about that. You probably heard these advice and tips from a lot of other YouTubers, but this is what helped me out, and this is what really just helped me get promoted. As a Griffin, when I was in a Griffin, I don't know what advice I can tell you because I'm not playing as Hunter, you know, against Griffins. And if they are, they're really just rare because I'm still in Alligator 2. So these aren't really like good survivors to really just tell you what to do as a Griffin, you know. Let's see what I want to talk about. I don't know why I just sang. Ew. I think that's most of it. Okay. I think I got one. So, you notice how most of these people aren't communicating. They should at least say something, because that is not bad. Saying certain things like thank you or sorry or come on, keep it up is so useless. I'm not even telling you like that as like to be mean or anything. Those things are just really bad not to carry. And if you are, let's say you're doing a voice chat, just like I think I said before, try to make sure your teammates know that. Let me see. Is there anything I can really talk about? I think that's all of it. So I think for the most part, I'm not going to end it yet because I'm trying to come up with a topic. But yeah, those are the things that help me. You should not spam portals like how this priestess did, because you notice how I avoid most of those portals. Yeah, don't do that. I know you're trying to get to places quicker, but spamming portals like that, and you see how she's failing to kite properly? Like, she's gonna get down in like a couple seconds here. So I'm gonna hit her once right here, and bam, she's down. So I spoke about the hunter tips. I really just don't have that many hunter tips that I don't really essentially have, because I just play hunters that I knew were difficult for me to play against, as like when I was in that tier. You should probably play hunter and Hunter and Survivor. So for me, when I played Hunter, it really helped me with my kiting as Survivor. That probably sounds really weird, but it really did help me. And the reason why it helped me so much is because I can see myself with these these people playing. A lot of these people do simple mistakes that they shouldn't even be making, in my opinion, like rush saving, or putting too many portals down, or not healing when you can heal, a lot of things like that. So yeah, that's how I learned. Also, if the cipher is almost primed, you should say it's primed. And one thing I've noticed that people do is that they'll like try to heal the person that's down, and they'll do it so they can at least get a draw. That is what I do. As like a, what's it called? As like a Survivor main. So yeah, I often do that. I think I'm gonna end the video soon, so yeah, I won't have that much time left to talk about what I really think I should talk about. But that's most of my advice. I see a lot of people do it. Just be very mindful of the little mistakes you do. You should play Survivor and Hunter because it could benefit you in the long run. Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Bye, guys.